Hello. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Bob Gordon, and I am a dedicated member of this congregation. Please take your seats, everybody. I think you're well along in that regard. And make sure to turn off your cell phones all the way off so it doesn't disturb our wonderful new sound system, which is working beautifully most of the time. We honor each and every one of you wherever you are on your spiritual path, and know that there is something wonderful for you here this morning. I attended the CSL convention in Irvine, California earlier this week, and it was a delight. And one of the things I noticed was that there was a lot more influence of younger people. In the past, it's been like lots of canes and wheelchairs, and this time there was a tremendous amount of energy, and I think that's a wonderful thing for our organization. Lots of speeches, and one in particular attracted my attention. It was by Dr. Christian Sorensen, one of the leaders of our movement. And he said one thing that got me thinking. He said that the main experience that you have in spirituality is based on silence. And I've been thinking about that, especially as a member of the sound team, where it seems inconsistent. But I think he was talking about the effect of meditation and prayer and lots of spiritual reading. And then he said the next most important element is music. And, well, Bodhi, you're going to be thrilled by the rest of this presentation this morning. Music is interesting. It's a combination of composition, which is writing the music. It's a combination of devising lyrics for songs, and then the musicianship of one or more instrumentalists plus a vocalist, and it all comes together. Various combinations of people contribute to the ultimate music that we hear. There's a difference between a composer and a musician. The musician interprets a song, the song being music with lyrics, and that is beautiful. The composer has attuned himself to a sound that is inaudible, that is caught by the sole facility of intuitive listening and translated into music. This is how Beethoven, who began going deaf at around 28 years of age, continued to compose music. The great Sufi master and musician Hazrat Inayat Khan went so far as to write in his book entitled The Mysticism of Sound and Music, quote, "Composition is an art rather than a mechanical arrangement of notes. The work of a composer of music is no less than the work of a saint. The composer needs tenderness of heart, open eyes to all beauty, the true perception of sound and rhythm, and its expression in human nature. We are all here to activate that same soul perception within ourselves, to compose our own music as we inwardly attune ourselves to the beat and rhythm of our own particular individuality." This is paraphrasing Michael Beckwith, and this comes from a book called Spiritual Liberation by Michael, which is a wonderful book. And the, let me see, the message this morning, the practitioner message will be given to us by our esteemed practitioner and what's the word? Person, Dr. Katherine. Minister, that's it, minister. Okay, thank you very much.
Come, come, whoever you are, this caravan knows no despair. Come, come, whoever you are, whoever you are, come. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, come. Even if you've broken your vow, perhaps 1,000 times. Come, come, whoever you are, whoever you are, come. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy.
And in the one glorious, God-filled, God-given God-isness that is all joy, all happiness, and all love, that one that is the all in all, let us breathe. In this God-filled moment, here we are, in this sacred space, creating the eternal now. I give thanks for knowing that as that one is me, created me, loves me, lives itself in, through, and as me, that is the truth for all. And it is good. We come together this morning to celebrate that, to recognize that, to realize that, to activate that. And as we do so, we exemplify and amplify and expand it in this world. And that this service then is the blessing as we bless the world with our presence, our song, our prayer, our intention, our heart. What I know for myself, I know for all, and that there is this place within me that opens like a flower to the sun and drinks in the sacredness and leans into that which seeks me as I seek it. And so to be here in this moment is to stand in love. I give thanks for knowing that as we sit and listen to our beloved minister, Reverend Karyl, what I accept and know is that she speaks the word. And each of us finds something that resonates and deepens our experience of the good. And that word becomes activity and animates my life. That word becomes light and guides me through conflict into good. That word becomes beauty and surrounds me. That word becomes supply and brings to me everything I need and more. And so I live in gratitude, I rest in joy, and I live in love. And so it is.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy.
And our beautiful music director, Bodhi, has asked to introduce our special guest musician.
Indeed. Cornelius Boots, woodwind pioneer and award-winning composer, Cornelius Boots reveals the earthy, soulful, and energetic qualities of the raw, unlacquered shakuhachi and its baritone brother, taimu. Shakuhachi is a root-end bamboo flute from ancient Japan, where it was used by wandering monks and samurai as a breath meditation tool and sometimes a weapon. Cornelius has been active internationally since 1990 in jazz, classical, and rock. In 2013, he earned his master license, Shihan, in the dynamic Zen shakuhachi lineage of Watazu Mido. And on a personal note, I've been wanting to meet Cornelius for a long time because as another flute player, to really hear another master flute player. So finally, a few months ago, I got to see him play, and I knew that I wanted to share him with you. So please welcome Cornelius Boots on the shakuhachi, the taimu.
Good morning, beloveds. Let me help you slip easily from that meditative flute music into the spoken word. Big breath. We have people here from the membership team. And first of all, I just want to say it is so nice to see some of you back again. There are several. It's one of those Sundays where the return is evident. So welcome. I love you. It is wonderful to see you. If there's anyone here who's here for the very first time and would like information about our center, we have packets right here, and inside is a blue card. And if you fill out that blue card and give it back to one of these beloveds, you get a book that is what religious science teaches, which is where you are. You are in a center that teaches the philosophy of science of mind, which is religious science denomination. So, anybody here for the very first time that would like information about us? Right there, yes, welcome. I'd love to meet you personally after. And welcome to everyone here this morning. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley, and this is our theme for the whole year. 100 years of science of mind. And as Bob told you, some of us are just back from convention, and you know, for 100 years we've been making history. The philosophy is way older than 100 years, but our organization, and Ernest Holmes, our philosopher, has been changing lives for the last 100. So a lot of what I say today will be sort of a report on convention, as well as hopefully what Reverend Katherine prayed in, which is that or maybe it was Bob that said something specifically for each one of you to take away and make your life better. I hope that will happen. So at the convention, Reverend Katherine Saux was there, and also Bob Gordon, who welcomed you today, is one of the corporate lawyers for the whole worldwide movement. And so he knows everybody, and he's very important. And the other person that was there representing us was Sue Ruda with her Ernest Holmes movie, The Science of Earnest Mind. And she was just the star of convention. I mean, she sold all the materials that she took, and she has pages of people who are interested. And so she rocked it, I'm telling you. So the convention is how to make the organization more effective. And the philosophy is how to make each one of us more effective. So it all fits together. And the way that we know, kind of, whether we're being effective is how it feels on the inside to live our life. So the theme that we're finishing up for February today is self-awareness brings spiritual well-being. So an organization and an individual has to know where they're masterful and where they're unskilled, and then how to put more effort into the places where they're unskilled so that more and more things can be put over on the column of masterful. That's how we become wise, happy, harmless, useful, and all those other things that a spiritual being wants to be, right? And can be if we apply ourselves. So we're finishing the month up on self-awareness, and I want to share with you this amazing altar that Susanne DuBois made. And the title of the talk, I'll just advance it once more, Life Skills That Always Make Things Better. So Susanne is very orderly. And this is how I am a lot of the time. So the altar asks, do you want your life to look like this? Or do you want your life to look like this? And this is not to exhaust you, but these are spiritual practice to-do lists: daily chant, daily visualization, daily meditate, pray daily for self and others, say grace, thank God, read teachings of truth daily. But they go on and on and on. And this delta sign in the middle is change. And I'm going to be talking about change today. So Do we want to change in this direction, getting more and more chaotic? Probably not. Do we want to change in this direction, getting more and more orderly? It would seem that that would be the way to be effective. So this was the title that I came up with before convention, because I have to get my material in for the bulletin and the PowerPoint well in advance of Sunday, so I can't do my what I used to do, which is cram everything into Saturday night. So I came up with what I thought would be some good life skills that I could talk about no matter what happened at convention. So this is what I came up with, this next one here, and it turned out beautifully. So the lessons that I'm talking about today are take responsibility, tell the highest truth, forgive quickly, embrace change, seek commonality, and grant freedom. So these are the skills that came to mind, and every Sunday when I can remember it, I go on Facebook to check in, and I invite people on Facebook on that check-in, and I said something about, we're going to talk about life skills today, that if everyone accomplished these, we would be responsible for world peace, right here, right here. If we could all do this, we would generate so much well-being and so much love that anyone who came into our presence would be instantly healed. That is absolutely what I believe. So it turns out that I do have a story about each one of these that came from this last week, and I hope that you find something, one thing that you can take to heart and say, yeah, that's my next step. That's what I'm holding for all of us, okay? Because I did it. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about take responsibility. And I've been talking about that this month in our month about self-awareness, is that your experience of life is because of you. It's not about what's going on in the world. It's not about what your partner did or said. It is not about what you see on television. It is because of you and what you accept in through your filter system and how you judge or accept with gratitude what comes to you. So I don't think that we can actually take responsibility for every single thing out there that happens, but we absolutely must take responsibility on how it feels from the inside. So here's the story that goes with this. I took a day off from convention, and I met with my editor about my next book that's almost here. So I drove, actually Paul drove me, to Long Beach. That's where I met my editor. And in my life, I have not spent a lot of time in Long Beach. But I did once, and I was reminded of that time. What happened was way long ago, in my 20s, I took some photographs for a couple that wanted these photographs to be sort of for marketing purposes. I mean, this did not turn into my career, but they liked the photographs. Anyway, I took, this was a young man and a young woman who were a couple, and they were also in a band. So the band had a gig at a prison in Long Beach. And they wanted me to come and take pictures of their gig in the prison in Long Beach, which I did. So there they were, kind of on this flatbed truck in the yard of this prison in Long Beach. And all of these inmates were kind of gathered around listening to the band, and I was snapping pictures. And I was chatted up by this inmate right beside me who had a dime in his ear, stuck in his ear, and for a long time, you could tell the dime was in his ear for a long time. So I asked him about the dime in his ear, and he said, well, I'm in this place because I didn't have a dime for a phone call, and I am never going to be in that situation again. Well, you can tell how long ago it was. It was because when phone calls were a dime. But when you think about this, you think that's taking responsibility, sorta, for his life, because he's always going to be able to make a phone call, but it misses the point of what he did to get in there in the first place. So I'm turning this back on you and on me. Is there a place in our lives where we pretend to take responsibility because we say something like, I have a dime in my ear so I can make a phone call, and miss the big picture of why you're in prison for the first place? So do you see what I'm talking about here? Are you or me, are we quick to give reasons about why there is a situation in our life that is not to our liking? And pretend that we are taking responsibility for it when we have just thrown that responsibility and our ability to create order and control our lives way far away from us. So I want you to just consider this, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat it. My experience of this situation is 100% my responsibility. So bring to mind something that you may not like too much, and think about it in relation to that dime in the guy's ear. And then say, my experience of this situation is 100% my responsibility. Then when we take a responsibility, we can respond to where we are. The guy had long ago since given up any ability to respond to his situation effectively. Okay? Next, tell the highest truth. So, about 6 years ago, there were two organizations that taught the same thing. Both of them probably used this little book, What Religious Science Teaches. The names of them were Religious Science International and the Church of Religious Science. Two organizations that taught the same thing. And after about 45 years of being separate, we had the great idea to bring everybody back together again, because most of the people that had created the split were on the other side, and we thought it was a great idea to come together. So over the years, the last 6 years, we have been trying to put these organizations together, and the reason that they split apart became very evident. Not because of the philosophy that was taught, but because of the other things about different curricula that were taught, the rules of engagement, the costs of do you pay for being a minister and a practitioner or not, the support staff, do we have a home office, do we not? And there were rifts at the highest level, and trying to put these organizations back together again involved telling truths that were not the highest. The truths that were told were a lot of times critical of the other side. And so what happened was, and there was a wonderful speech that was made by the president of the Leadership Council, which is kind of like the board. And she said, what we have realized is that we are exceedingly clumsy midwives. Birthing this new organization, exceedingly clumsy midwives. And so what happened was, at the end of the conference, the two head people, the spiritual leader and the field leader, publicly healed a rift that had happened within this 6 years. And I'm telling you, it was like mom and dad made up. It was the highest truth that was told. One of them asked the other one, why did you stick it out, John, with all of the agony that you went through? And then John goes, because I believe in oneness, and it didn't make any sense to have two organizations. They were interrupted over and over again with applause because the highest truth was told. And the what was so before that people were upset with each other went away, absolutely went away. So with this, I ask you in your life, is there a way for you to tell an updated truth? Yes, we've all had people in our lives that annoy us, and yes, speaking to them about that annoyance is true, and we have told what's inside of us and had that reaction. But is there a way of leaping over those differences and updating a truth and thereby freeing us from stuckness? Because once again, when we put the blame on the outside of us for something, that is not the highest truth. Are we okay? We're now to forgive quickly. So back to the talk by Tracy Brown, the president, when she talked about that we are exceedingly clumsy midwives. And we have this baby that doesn't look like we thought the baby was going to look. And this is the new organization. We did not know that it was going to look exactly like it looks. And so in order to gain some wisdom, this wonderful president of all of ours, Tracy Brown, asked a friend of hers who had just given birth what was the most important thing she had learned about being a new mom. This was a first-time mom, new baby, weeks old. And so Tracy thought that she had the short list of what might be told to her, because I guess she was a mom, and so she was going to quote this mother, and she thought she would hear one of these short list of things that was the most important thing about becoming a new mother. Well, what the new mom said was, I learned the most important thing is to forgive quickly, which surprised her, surprised Tracy. And she asked the mom and then told us that the mom said, my upset has to do with what my husband does, the fact that the hospital staff responded in 8 minutes instead of 2 minutes, and my baby did not go to sleep when I wanted her to go to sleep. And mostly I have to forgive myself because I expect things and then get upset when they don't happen. And so I thought about that, and I thought, if we all, we sometimes confuse what forgiveness is. And I think forgiveness is really giving up the idea that something should be a particular way. I mean, if it's not that particular way, damn it, I'm going to be upset. And if we could just let that go. I thought that should happen, but it was a preference, and it didn't happen that way. And then our energy is off of it, ready to look at whatever is. So forgiveness, I think, is really giving up resentment, giving up shoulds, and lifting judgment of what is, being able to see what is in front of us. So once again, we can respond to it and tell the highest truth and take responsibility for it. So freeing when we can settle with what is. Okay? Is this beneficial to you? Okay. Anybody found something they're going to take home so far? Because we're only halfway through. Okay, good. All right. So the next thing is embrace change. When we look at the remnants of the joining of these two sides of the organization, or what it used to be, it will not be the same ever as what we experienced as the Church of Religious Science and what other folks experienced as Religious Science International. It will never, ever be the same. And it was one of those young people that Bob talked about that gave a talk early on in the convention that says, it makes no sense to root for a team that isn't even on the field anymore. How many of us are rooting for a team that is not even on the field anymore because things have changed around us and we are not up with the change? Another young person said, we cannot solve 21st century problems with 20th century solutions. And so what is happening to our denomination is that more information is being shared on social media. We are taking more clear positions on social justice issues and current event issues. And we are able to communicate more effectively when there is a difference of opinion. And that is immense. It's absolutely immense. So in your life and in my life, is there some change that really wants to happen that we are standing in the way of? And if we could just update our system, update our internal system, things would happen so much more easily. And, like I said at the beginning, world peace would swirl around us. So in the midst of embracing change is another companion piece, which is seeking commonality. So one of the things that they didn't talk about too much, or maybe I didn't go to this session where they talked about it, but we are partnering with Unity. And they were very cute to say this. They said, we are not joining up with Unity and they are not joining up with us, but what we are doing is sharing some curricula. So we're going to be teaching some classes that are the same with Unity, which I think is very important. So there was an awful lot that was shared this week about current events, about the shootings in Florida, and left and right political parties. And if we can find bridges with those that we disagree with and seek commonality, that world peace will swirl around us. So there was a very important article that was on social media this last week, and it talked about how respect has to happen first and then gun control, or whatever the issue is. And one of the things that they said is that when one side hurls epithets at the other, there is no way for anybody to have a conversation, right? Because everybody is defending themselves. So when the left hurls racist, science-denying epithets to the right, do you think that the right is going to want to engage in conversation? No. And when the right hurls immoral and unpatriotic epithets at the left, do you think that the left is going to want to have a conversation? No. So how do we find a question? And this is not just about gun control. It's about anything that you have a disagreement with somebody else about, seeking commonality. What is a question that is not inflammatory? So a couple suggestions in this article were, the blues can ask the reds, what is a safety net program that you can support? And the reds can ask the blues, how do you balance having a heart with keeping health care costs under control? What interesting questions to start a conversation. And when in this country we will ever find a solution to these problems, it will be because we see our commonality and our oneness with each other, and we bring warmth instead of heat to a conversation. So in our lives, how can we bring warmth instead of heat to a disagreement? And finally, right on the heels of this, is to grant freedom to everybody that you agree with and that you don't agree with. To know that there's a place, even for the people that you disagree with very, very much, and they're not going to get off their position, there is a place for them in the ongoing evolution of life on Earth. And we are seeing the progress when all of us work together. So this week also saw the transition of Billy Graham. And there was a very interesting article that I found, again on social media, which was A Pagan Reflects on Billy Graham. So, y'all know who Billy Graham is? Okay. I've watched Billy Graham on TV when I was like 7 years old. I mean, he was on TV when TV was young. And he brought many people to what they call salvation and condemned many others. So let me read a little bit of this article about the pagan and Billy Graham. Early in his career, Billy Graham had some of the same misgivings I did about organized religion. But he decided, and quote, he didn't have a good enough mind to settle deep theological questions, and so, continuing the quote, decided to trust in the authority of the Bible, doubts be damned. Instead, the author says, of wrestling with angels, Graham punted. What would have happened if he had engaged these questions with study, reflection, meditation, and prayer? It's unlikely he would have found his way into paganism the way I did, but he could have easily become a Christian universalist. Imagine someone with the skill and fervor of Billy Graham preaching, not hell, but hope and courage. Instead, Billy Graham ducked the most important questions of his religion. He genuinely believed what he preached. He meant well. But as Graham himself would no doubt admit, good intentions are never enough. His sermons sent people into a hell of fear over the fear of hell. Some people are well suited for Graham's fundamentalist evangelical religion. He made their lives better, but many of us are not. Most of the social media comments I'm seeing talk about what a really great man Billy Graham was. Some talk about how awful he was, referencing his bad theology, conservative politics, and insensitivity to the AIDS crisis. Both of these things are true. As with most complicated and flawed human beings, our attempts to play Osiris and weigh the hearts of the dead are a mistake. So I will not declare Billy Graham either good or evil. Instead, I will pray for him. I will pray that Billy Graham is received into the presence of his God and ancestors. I will pray he understands the good he did in this life and also the harm he caused. May he learn from both. I will pray that in the next life he find the courage to explore his doubts and the confidence to accept where those explorations lead. Perhaps next time he will do better. And what I want us to see here about granting freedom to everyone is that can we grant others their path and stick to ours and defend it and find those commonalities? And may we not have to wait for the next life, but do better today. Can we update that delivery system that we have of our own beliefs, these beliefs that could be responsible for world peace, and keep our philosophy and live in it? We have all of the divine assistance that we could ever need. The conclusion of my talk today is a song that was sung at convention. It's called The Update, and it is by Martin Kerr, and both Paul and Mary did a great job in bringing this to you through our system. So we have the words that you can read along as we play this wonderful song for you.
Computer wants to update a program. I always click on try again tomorrow, 'cause that's not what I need. The garden wants a weeding, the summer's almost over. I haven't got around to planting the seeds. What have I been waiting for all this time? What am I complaining for? The fault's all mine. I could cross that bridge if someone else would pay the toll. But won't somebody send an update to my soul? My phone, it wants to update the system, but I don't really trust it. It usually ends up slower than before. The politicians never stop campaigning. One day we're gonna bust them. We're capable of so much more. What have I been waiting for all this time? What am I complaining for? The fault's all mine. I'm sitting here just waiting for my youth to come again. I'll stop procrastinating, but don't ask me when. I could cross that bridge if someone else would pay the toll. But won't somebody send an update to my soul? I wanna feel you love me more than ever. I know I don't deserve it. I'm not the man I was back then. Skinnier and brighter and more hopeful. Is that the way you want me? I'm not sure if I can be that again. What have I been waiting for all this time? What am I complaining for? The fault's all mine. I'm sitting here just waiting for my youth to come again. I'll stop procrastinating, but don't ask me when. I could cross that bridge if someone else would pay the toll. But won't somebody send an update to my soul? Should you ever lose your sense of wonder, walk out to the ocean and sing out to the stars on high. And all the generations gone before you will hear you from the heavens. It'd help you if you'd only try. What have we been waiting for all these hours? What are we complaining for? The remedy's ours. We're sitting here just waiting for our youth to come again. We'll stop procrastinating, we can choose just when. We can cross that bridge, and only we can pay the toll. And only I can make an update to my soul. Only I can make an update to my soul.
So would the practitioners surround the community, please? So in this moment, I open to updating my own soul. And as much as I think I understand these lessons, just the 6 that I presented today, seeing the big list of those at the altar, I commit to updating my soul so that truly I master these lessons and become harmless, useful, dedicated, and fostering world peace as I walk through the world, so that those who see me see the avatars that lived and died for peace ahead of me, knowing that I can make a difference for good in the world. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each one here, that each in our own ways, taking one step today towards mastery and one more step tomorrow, becoming a better version of ourselves each day, we bring peace on earth. Blessed be.
Hi, I'm Gaelen Cooper, licensed practitioner in this community and a part of the Prosperity team. And I would like to invite the ushers forward. And thank you, Master Boots and Bodie, Amanda. That was great. Appreciate that. And I love what Karyl said because I'm hoping that I'm not the only one guilty of it, but I know that it's all about me all the time. And I do. And the one thing I learned today that I've been trying to work on is forgive myself. Because I'm one of those people that when things don't happen quick enough, I'm like, what the hell? So I'm grateful that I'm trying to learn to say, you know what? Patience is a good thing, and I could wait. So anyway, here we go. Bodie's gonna, wait, forgot. Put your gift on your heart. Thank you, thank you. All right, here you go. Thank you all. All right. You go, you can go, thanks. Okay, now we got music. It's all good things.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. So blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And if you would say along with me, this gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is.
All right, my darlings, just a few announcements. And the first, we always begin with gratitude. We're going to do the gratitude a little bit different today because we have a thank you letter from our founder, Dr. Lloyd Tupper, that Reverend Sarah is going to read. And this is about his wonderful gift that we gave him for his 50 years in Science of Mind. And it's also to thank us for the wonderful event that we put on in his honor that Sarah was kind of point person about. So the letter is about her and about all of us.
Lloyd asked me to read this, and he said he'd send it to me, and when I saw it, I saw that there was a lot in here about me, and so I called him, forgetting at the moment that he does not take direction well. and asked him to please make revisions before I read it. And he said, I wrote it exactly as I want it to be written, to be read, and I want you to read it. So, with that in mind, my dear and loving church family, I have asked our dear Reverend Sarah to convey to all of you my heartfelt appreciation for your generous gift of my memorial Bohemian crystal vase. The vase itself, which is indeed an artistic creation of brilliant beauty, is only exceeded in meaningfulness by the genuine love that I have rarely been blessed with. I cannot adequately express my deepest appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to each of you. I have placed this exquisite gift in my living room on my beautiful piano. The sun shines on and through the vase, which casts many beautiful colors throughout my home. Such beauty cannot be compared except to possibly the divine.
Aww.
Special thanks are due to all the efforts in obtaining this rare gift and to Reverend Sarah. I sincerely express my heartfelt appreciation for her tireless devotion to making my 50 years in religious science a memorable occasion. I shall treasure it always. Most sincerely, Reverend Lloyd.
Ah, very sweet. Wonderful. So we're going to go right into the announcements now. Please know that all of the teams are thanked, and we will name you specifically next Sunday. A quick start today is with Marilyn Letzos. If you are new to this philosophy and would like to get a snapshot of what we believe and actually how to use it in your life, please come to the Learning Center today at what time? 12:30, and Marilyn Letzos will, she's a wonderful teacher. She was a teacher for years and years and years and years, and now she still teaches for us. So it should be a wonderful time. Next, I am teaching more new topics in prosperity. This is sort of a revision of 4 weeks of new topics in prosperity that I did last year, but it's 4 new topics, new topics in prosperity. It begins this Thursday. The sign-up sheet is at the education table. Sound Healing Orchestra with our own Bodhi is Friday, March 9th. Is that a Friday? Okay, good. Okay. Then that's when it is, and you're all invited to just let yourself leave your body for a good long time, and he'll get you back in there, don't worry. What? It's his birthday. It's his birthday concert. He always gives for his birthday. That's so sweet. I would like to thank the membership team. This is a team that is under the direction of Reverend Katherine Saux. Would you stand up, Reverend Katherine, and would you invite your team to stand? So these wonderful people have re-envisioned this team and have created a pathway for you to become members. They have defined what it is to become members. They are going to be doing the festivities of the new membership enrollment time, and they have created the information envelopes that you have, purchase these books for you, and it is a revitalization of a team that is absolutely essential for center growth. So I would like to thank warmly Reverend Katherine and everyone. And Reverend Katherine, is your team still open? Yes. All right. If you want to play with Reverend Katherine, and she's a lot of fun, you get her after the service, okay? And this is what the membership team has done. We are having membership up, an orientation, a reception, and New Members Sunday coming up early next month. So if you are thinking about becoming a member of this community, please visit the membership table, and I'm pointing to it right now. All righty, next is our annual membership meeting. This is for all of you who have been members 6 months or longer. Our business meeting for this year is Sunday, April 8th. You are all invited, and there will be some voting from the members. Next, the Creative Craft Circle is happening on Wednesdays at the Learning Center. If you are working on any stitchy item and you would like to come and chit-chat with other spiritual seekers, this is your opportunity. This is like ancient. You know, I mean, people did this for centuries and centuries and centuries for a reason. And if you don't know the reason, you come and join. I am filling up my trip to France this second half of June. There is information at the back table. Several of us are going to be having a wonderful adventure, and you are all invited. Not all of you, we couldn't hold all of you, but a few more would be good. Pisces is starting your birthday now, your birthday month. If you are a fishy and would like to have a birthday gift from your community, please visit the practitioner table where you can pick up a spiritual checkup sheet and then find a practitioner and get a free practitioner session to set up your year perfectly. Then Easter is just about a month away, and so we are going to have a wonderful Easter celebration. We're not starting signups right now, but please figure out what you might want to bring or do. This is one of the biggest things we do all year, and it's a wonderful, wonderful time out in the garden. It's usually beautiful. We eat outside and so forth. Then lastly, Reverend Katherine Saux' ordination is coming up Saturday, April 7th. This is one of the few formal events that we do in our denomination. There will be many, many reverends and doctors here in their robes, and it's very, very moving, very official, and very fun. And so you're all invited. It will be at 2 o'clock on this date. So with that in mind, let me just bless all of you on your way. Oh, knowing that each one of us is so strong in our hearts, can take that next step in life mastery so easily, always with the help of Spirit. That is what I know for each one of us. Now, if you would stand for our affirmation and closing song. Right up here. I am dedicated to the mastery of spiritual lessons that nurture my soul and contribute to the harmony of all of life. The time is now for this learning. I am supported by love and guidance from all realms. Blessed be.
Amen.